Are we the last to arrive? I hope we've not kept you waiting.
Not at all. Your comrade is feeling better, I trust.
Much better, thank you. Harness remedies are certainly potent, in more ways than one.
One becomes accustomed to the taste, although I hope you never have cause to do so. Pray, take your ease.
Full glad I am to see you all unharmed.
Valiant scions, for your heroism, you have my boundless gratitude. You cast down that dire tower and set free its hapless captives. You cleanse their souls of its corrupting influence. No words of thanks will suffice. In place of platitudes, I offer a bounty of warding scales. Pray at your due reward, along with the goodwill of Vrta.
Alchemists throughout the land were put to work in the forging of your talismans. The finished ones have been collected, and now await you at the High Crucible of Alchemia. Present this letter when you are ready to take them into your possession.
We are humbled by your generosity. Know that the inventive wisdom of Vrta will be vital in restoring serenity to our star.
Every single one of those scales came from you, didn't they? You must still be in such pain.
'Tis of no moment. A mere annoyance compared to the dreadful suffering inflicted upon this land and its people.
Albeit brief, my involvement in the Dragonsong War afforded me a glimpse of the myriad sorrows which consumed both dragon and man. Though you were half a world away, such tragedies as befell your kin must have affected you deeply. And yet, you chose to live among men.
In the age when that conflict first bloomed, my choice had already been made. In some distant place, man slew dragon, and dragon slaughtered man. Yet no hate could I muster for those smiling faces which did look to me for guidance. Not even my brother's righteous rage could rally me to his cause. I huddled here, secret and still, hoping against hope that which I had built would remain untouched by the chaos and carnage.
'Twould seem we share the same desire for peace, great Vrta. To that end, I wonder if we might trouble you with another question. The Telophoroi are intent on recreating the final days, an apocalyptic event which we know to predate the sundering of the star. As the longest lived among us, know you aught of this terrible cataclysm?
Nay. When war and strife drove my sire from his home, he crossed the great expanse with only our unhatched eggs as company. He alighted upon a shattered source, its 13 reflections long since scattered beyond the rift. Of events preceding his arrival, he knoweth naught, save that which Hydralin hath deigned to disclose.
I see. So again, 'tis the inscrutable Hydaelyn to whom you must look for answers.
Seek you to divine the will of this star? If so, I have a tale which may afford you some small comfort. 'Tis a story from my youth, many, many years ago. To my sire, I once posed the question, of all the stars in the sky, why didst thou settle upon this one? To which Midgardsormr did reply, 'twas the last bastion of hope. He believed so long as Hydaelyn endured, so too might dragonkind. Solemn and portentous were his words. What deeper meaning they held, I could not, dared not pursue. 'Tis a stone I've left unturned ever since. Yet take you solace in the knowledge that whatsoever Hydaelyn does strive towards, 'tis an ideal which hath earned my sire's conviction.
Thank you, Vrta. You've given us warm reassurance in a world gripped by cold uncertainty.
While I'm sure we all have a great many questions, I think it's time we collect the talismans and be on our way. Our fight against the Telophoroi is far from finished.
We must take our leave, but please do inform us if we can provide any further assistance.
Just noticed that my mic was off the entire time. Hi, everybody.
Prithee, a moment. There is one whom my sire hath judged worthy of honor and respect. The one known to men as Eorzea's champion. This hero of renown and rumor. 'Tis thee.
'Tis is. Midgardsormr and I have crossed paths, yes. I only wish he could be here to see us now. Only wish he could be here with us now.
I know of his clash with Omega, and the long slumber which was his price. Yet even closed in sleep, my father's eyes are far from blind. He is watching over thee, watching over this world. 'Twas a revelation most pleasing that thou, a child of man, had gained Midgardsormr's trust. But alongside mine elation runneth a rivulet of dread. For upon thy life's wheel wind to threads of fate, power, wheel enmeshed with woe. Amidst this tangled knot thou shalt know no rest. 'Tis an endless confluence of forces, a struggle without surcease. More terrible still is the attrition wrought upon thy companions, as they are swept up in the storm of thine existence.
Oh no. Papalymo. No, Hashifan. Oh.
Take heart and protect them well. They will be your strength and your salvation. driven mad by loss. Thus do I exhort thee to spare no effort to keep thy loved ones safe.
Apologies. We hadn't meant to interrupt.
It's just that we do have a history of suddenly collapsing, and when you didn't follow us out...
"'Tis I who must apologize. I have detained your champion overlong with idle chatter. Go. At war's end, I pray I welcome thee back into my hall, where together with thy joyful comrades, you may toast your triumph."
Alright. Yeah, I tuned here already. So, what were you and Vrta talking about?
It's a secret!
Nothing? Very well, if you say so. The others have gone ahead to the High Crucible. Let's catch up to them. Alphonal has mind to join the others at the High Crucible. Yeah, get some Archon Loaf for completing this quest. The attendant was kind enough to give me directions to the High Crucible. First, let's return to the Mulberry Orchard. From here, we're supposed to follow the path left and past the mulberries. Are mulberries a real thing? I'm looking at it later. This place here is starting to grow on me. I didn't like all the colors at first, but pretty good. Where the street turns, enter the door straight ahead, then descend the steps. I thought the Crystarium was confusing, but it doesn't compare to Rosette Hine. The architecture and decorations make it even harder to get your bearings. It's so bright. Anyway, let's see where this door takes us. Let me rephrase that. Not bright, it's just a lot. We're at the middle. You over here looking good. What someone said? Alright. Oh, wrong person. And here's the Aetheryte Plaza. So far, so good. And there isn't much further to go. From here, we just need to cross to the other side of the hall and pass through the largest of two doorways. The High Crucible lies beyond. I suspect the other have already collected the warding scales. Come, let us join them. Begin attuning. Oh. According to the message on the base, this Aetheryte has been temporarily disabled. Oh. She's doing it? Man. Hey, Urianger. Got a mask? Yeah, you do. Okay. Whoa. We're last, of course, but at least we found the place. Boom, 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 boom.
These are the talismans we were promised.
Yes, and I made a quick count. There are far more than we could have hoped for. Enough to outfit an entire company of soldiers, in fact. Considering the involved process, that they were able to manufacture so many in such a short span of time is nothing short of a miracle.
Once we have distributed them to our allies in Eorzea and the Far East, we'll have a fighting chance to bring down the other spires, just as we did with the Tower of Zot.
Or we could use them to invade Garlemald proper, and strike directly at the Telophoroid's base of operations.
That too.
Of course, we would need to consult with various Alliance leaders before such a drastic measure could even be contemplated. To which end, I could set out forthwith and present the idea to each of our allies in person.
Pray allow me to undertake some few of those journeys. I'm restless and in need of purposeful duties.
I can head eastward. Bosnia and Dalmasca are just a short hop from here. And Doma's shinobi network should come in handy for passing on the word.
Okay.
We shall share the burden then. Meanwhile, I think it best that you and the others take the talismans back to the Baldessian Annex. We must keep them safe and secure until we've decided upon a course of action.
Got it.
Please, I must speak with you.
Yeah, you're okay.
Nidana, you're awake.
Yes. When I spoke with the carer at my bedside, she told me that one of the scions, a young woman, had cleansed me of the tower's corruption. It seems I'd been asleep ever since the treatment. But when I awoke and learned you were all still here, I knew I had to come.
As you said, Nidana was captured only recently. Such a brief exposure is swiftly cured, so I tended to her before we gathered at Megaduta.
And I am truly grateful that you did. I cannot thank you enough. All of you, for everything you've done. Destroying the tower, rescuing our people. You've saved Thavnair from an awful fate.
Oh, look at you smile.
Yet who hath truly saved
Look at his
whom?
ditty.
Due in no small part to thine inspirational courage, the alchemists were successful in reproducing warding scales of proven efficacy. Replications of thy work now stand ready to travel across the seas, unto the hands of those who might wield them against this rising evil.
The talisman? Is this true? Oh, I was so groggy from sleep. I didn't even think to ask. Oh, our great work sent across the seas. It was worth it. Oh, it was all worth it.
You did it.
Look at that. Its color is completely changed.
Oh, that mood flower.
What do you have there?
I silently responded.
How unusual. I wonder if the effect is a reaction to Akasha.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that term.
Akasha? It is one of the unseen energies defined by Harnish alchemical theory. Though a gross oversimplification, some describe it as an essence influenced by feelings.
You imply that it is distinct from ether?
Us foreign scholars often conflate the two, but we see them as separate concepts. Ether is an energy which permeates the land. It exists within animals, objects, even the air we breathe, affecting all through which it flows. Akasha, on the other hand, exists in a domain beyond our reach. A gift bestowed from on high, or torn from the heavens in some traditions. Akasha can neither be created nor destroyed. It is beyond our power to purposefully alter or manipulate. The only thing observed to influence it is an abundance of, I want to say, spiritual emotion. As a veteran of the battlefield, surely you've experienced moments of desperation or exaltation when you've transcended the usual limits of your capabilities.
That's the echo.
That is a manifestation of Akasha, the invisible essence harnessed by heart, mind, and unyielding spirit.
I really must hear more about this theory. Our disciplines are based entirely upon the idea that ether is the fundamental form of all energy.
Oh.
I'm glad my haphazard explanation has piqued your interest. But even for us, Akasha is a somewhat abstract field of study. A lack of practical application lends itself poorly to formalized research. Which is why my analysis of your flower can amount to little more than idle speculation. I am sorry.
Hey, it might be something there, though.
Nonsense! You have nothing to be sorry for. Your insight is much appreciated.
Shall we depart for Sharlayan then? I will see to it that the talismans arrive at the Annex.
Alright.
And we will be in touch once our talks are concluded. I suggest you rest while you can. From here onward, sleep is bound to be in short supply.
Apparently. Thank you, Nahada. Alright, but before I go, can I attune? Alright. You guys are still here? That is a very nice sword. Okay. Oh. Guess it wasn't coming here yet. Oh, there you go. Hey, crowd. Getting ganged up by all these people. It's good to be back, and with the fruit of our labor safely in storage. For now, we have but to wait for the others to return from their respective meetings with the Alliance leaders. As Thancred suggested, you should get some rest in the meantime. I guess I'm going in. Albert shows up again. It's Albert. Welcome back, Kai. Crow has apprised me of your recent accomplishments. What an amazing feat to eliminate a tower, and pave the way to deal with the rest. While it isn't much, I've changed your sheets and plumped your pillows. Thank you. After all, there's nothing like collapsing in a nice clean bed after completing a major milestone. Be it pinning a thesis or defeating deformed entities. So, would you like to take a look at your new and improved lodgings now? Sure. What you do up in there? What you give me? What you give me? You cleaned my room a little bit. As long as you're Beauty and the Beast.
Take heart and protect them well.
Good, you're here. You haven't eaten yet, have you? We've bought quite a spread if you're interested. Only the finest dining from the last
When do we ever
stand.
eat in this game? Go ahead, Crow. That burger is big. You didn't even eat the meat. You just got the bun.
Lest you wonder, we invited Yshtola as well.
Yeah, he don't come to anything.
But he refused with a rather grim-faced, "No, thank you." I suspect Sharlayan cuisine is not to his liking.
Oh, I don't know about that. Perhaps our lone wolf just needed some time apart.
What? To perfect his brooding stare? Next time, I'll drag him out by the ear, sit him down in front of a Sharlayan feast, and see that he eats every last bite.
Irish girl.
An excellent idea. Of all people, warriors must take proper meals and rest if they are to maintain a healthy constitution.
Poor Yshtola, beset on all sides.
So little. Alright, Ra.
Speaking of one's physical condition, Mistress Kryl, I hear you recently played literal host to Hydaelyn herself.
Oh, so we were telling people about that.
And what an experience that was. Tiring, yes, but no lasting harm done. If anything, I should have liked to speak with her longer. I've not felt a hint of her presence since.
Hydaelyn instructed you to carry that flower, yes?
Indeed.
'Twill be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. And then something about seeking joy in darkness, was it? Come to think of it, isn't that what happened with Nidana back in Vrta?
The flower did seem to radiate a joyful glow, as if reflecting the elation we all felt, the relief of a people with renewed hope.
Indeed, and in turn I felt buoyed by that radiance. 'Twas akin to spotting a beacon and knowing we were on the right path. I know we've not yet triumphed over the Telophoroi, or learned the full breadth of the Forum's plans. But even within the midst of our struggles, we find small moments of joy to sustain us. Rare and hard-won, perhaps, but it is this pursuit of happiness that gives us the strength to carry on day after day.
I just make the burger.
Hey, that's mine.
To the swift the spoils. Though I recall that levitation spell of yours was quick enough.
So why you eat my cookie?
Only barely. And even at my best, I'm still too slow to wield it effectively in battle. Mayhap I simply require more practice with this new magic.
You unearthed it from the depths of Numenon, I presume?
Aye, and from a veritable mountain of arcane tomes at that. 'Twas necessary to facilitate my solitary explorations.
Or, to put it simply, you used it to sneak around the Forbidden Archives.
Yes, well, after a fashion.
So you want to give up my cookie?
They're tall, you see. The shelves, they're too tall for me. And I could hardly move the library's platforms without attracting attention now, could I?
Oh!
Dang. Y'all cleared it out. Some people's belts gotta be open. Keep showing us the moon over here. Are we pushing until dawn? Shall we call it a night? You do know these are my quarters. Yeah. We're pushing until dawn. I said silently.
Why else did you think we were here? Surrender to thy fate, O champion.
No, that's not what that means. That means get out. Now it's green. What do you want?
Ah! Enjoying the bracing cold, I see. Do you not own a warm coat or a cloak? Something in fur? Or fashioned from the skins of your enemies? Or... well... never mind that.
I hate you so much.
I come to you once more as the bearer of bad news. Our tower in Thavnir has been toppled, and I need not tell you by whom. Given how many we have at our disposal, the loss of a single spire is hardly fatal to our plans. It does, however, slow the rate at which we siphon ether. If they continue to preoccupy themselves with the towers, then all will be well. But should our foe prove bold enough to strike at us here, then the timing becomes... questionable.
Our foe is bold enough. Of that, I can assure you.
And he wants it.
Yes, very well then. I suppose I must prepare a proper welcome. Honestly, Talk of your nemesis is the only thing you seem to enjoy. Does nothing else spark your interest?
No. All else is equal.
What does that mean?
Equally tedious. Equally disappointing. The world is a tepid bog into which we sink, too weak to thrash as the mud clings to our eyes and fills our throats till we blissfully choke. But then came the light, blinding and pure and hot, so very hot, enough to set my soul aflame. I basked in the afterglow, until the void yawned once more. And then I knew the muck would never claim me again. There was naught for me ahead, so I drew the curtain on all that had come before. Burn, burn, let the whole star burn. I will have my contest. I will reclaim my moment.
How wonderful that the emptiness of death has not dissuaded you from committing your life to its pursuit once more.
He gave the face of like, what the
I don't know whether to envy you or pity you.
You question my disinterest, but what of yours? Despite your noisome antics, I sense you take little pleasure in this endeavor.
Mercy, my lord. Such pointed barbs from one who barely acknowledges my existence. Nevertheless, you are mistaken. For I do find this part somewhat enjoyable. You see, when I was mortal, I would always have the same dream. It was a fragmented thing, disjointed, all the faces incomplete. The setting, too, was unknown to me. So I thought it simply a fantasy of my sleeping mind. Until one day, I realized it was showing me the truth. Much as your dream of the final days enlightened you. And soon, very soon, the rest of the world will see the truth of my dream, too.
Will we?
Yes. I think that is something we can both enjoy.
Okay. I gotta do some cleanup. I really gotta do some cleanup. Alright, what's the next step? Growl and Gratia were having a pleasant conversation until you barged in. Whoa. Oh, there you are. Feeling refreshed, I hope? It's not barged in. Y'all barged in my room. Oh, there you go. Okay, I said it already. I was about to make my way to the studio. As it happens, I wanted to try and speak with the scholar and thank him for coming to our rescue in Narastra. As it turns out, he'd come here to see us following the hearing, only to find that we'd already departed for Daphne. Knowing him, he was probably hoping to chew the cud with his former students. Since we're still waiting for Yshtola and the others, I thought now would be the perfect time to pay him a visit. Care to join me? Then it's settled. The twins will be coming too, assuming Alphonal can tear himself away from his new toys. I'll let you rally the troops while I go on ahead to the phenomena. Considering my recent impropriety, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the studio for a time. That might be for the best. If the others return, tell them we will not be long. Okay. Heading out for a stroll? Ha. The Scholar himself was here? In that case, what are we waiting for? I'm too eager to see him, though. I somewhat dread the thought of visiting the studio. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Alphinaud of all people worrying over his reputation, and at our alma mater, no less. Will wonders never cease? You'll understand soon enough. Off we go. Just to make sure. Anything else? Nope. I was supposed to go outside. Here it is, Phenomena. While I expect you made note of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by the expansive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices and so forth. As the center of what would later become the studium, it was established to promote the study of etherological phenomena, hence the name. Though with ether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life, even the universe itself. And then, in the 432nd year of the 6th astral era, Phenomena was decreed complete and the studium officially opened as a place of learning. With a long and storied history, it is without question the world's leading authority in etherology. The arcane, the occult, astromancy, holy crap, astromancy, and countless other fields, standing proud as Sharlayan's foremost educational institute. Alright now. You always did enjoy giving a grand tour to new students. Indeed, I've long since lost track of how many times he had recited that same popish speech, such his undying love for his old stomping grounds. He was in top form back then, youngest to enter the studium, graduated with highest honors in magical arts and etherology, undisputed champion of the debating chamber. No wonder he came in with a cocky attitude. Hold on, you both joined the studium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you're equally prestigious scholars. Yeah. Nice of you to say, but Alphinaud actually entered a half a year before me, nor did I do well enough to graduate with honors, and I am certainly not the studium's most notorious master debater. In all respects, have I ever been in his shadow? If nothing else, just remember that this was where the legend of Alphinaud Levriel began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades, how hopefully we'll be somewhat more welcome here than we were at the last stand. I know better than anyone the adoration the student body has for Alphinaud, and with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. Got this Pink Panther music going on. Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholar Mondrian. Other faculty tend to frequent their offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wherever whims take him. Let's put up and ask the students if they've seen him. I'm just gonna call him M. What? You good, my man? That was Alphinaud Levier, wasn't it? The Alphinaud Levier? And he's with his sister and Master Baldessian's granddaughter? This can only mean one thing. An event of earth-shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word. Calm down, I said silently. Oh, sorry. You said you're looking for the Scholarch, yes? Knowing him, he could be anywhere. But Miss Alapo should have a better idea. It's Alpo himself, in the flesh. Oh, wow. He spoke to me. He actually spoke to me. You got a fan club going on here, man. I assure you, I'll tell you all about it after my business with the Scholarch has concluded. The Scholarch? Tell me, my good fellow, does this have something to do with saving the world from catastrophe? Might we turn our attention to Master Leverier's graduation thesis? I, too, have my doubts regarding our policy of non-intervention. Is it true that your experience overseas are the reasons you have incurred the ire of the Forum? Oh, but I wouldn't give to see you butt heads with those old coggers. Where are you coming from? Things were bad enough during our school days, and Alphinaud's time abroad has only heightened his fame, or should I say infamy. He had his rivals and detractors, of course, though most of them gave that up after his adoring fans set upon them like ravenous dogs. Alphinaud, on the other hand, never paid them much notice. They were simply beneath him. Alright. Alapo. Are you lost? Wandering off the street, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me. You're a trainee gleaner fresh off the gift ship. I'm right, aren't I? How silly of me. An orientation is in order. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to Searcher's Meet. Let me start with the question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the studio? That's right, books. And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal with here in Searcher's Meet. Whenever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners off to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Eye of Pasea this, tongue of giant toad that. It's enough to make your hair stand on end, which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic and all. As our newest gleaner, you'll have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding. Ooh, I can't see that. Hold on. The only thing I'm interested in gleaning is information on the Scholarch's whereabouts. I tracked down many miscellaneous snacks in my time, but I'm no gleaner. Alright, first one. I beg your pudding? Pudding? You're not a gleaner? Then this was all an elaborate ruse? No, wait. Come to think of it, you actually never claimed to be one in the first place. My mistake. Yeah, it's a hyper rare. He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to Maker's Meet. Go back the way you came in, and you'll see it on opposite side of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sorts, home to many rare and expensive Kuros, not to mention alarmingly frequent accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. Ha! In the time it's taken me to tell you all of this, the Scholarch has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I have a feeling you'll need it. Teacher is not where he's supposed to be. Level-headed student. Yes, the Scholarch was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor, perhaps to one of the auditoriums. Okay. Nice score. Aha, we found you. My boy M.
Ah, I remember you.
You do?
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Well, I could hardly let that inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Cool.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right.
What? I didn't touch anything.
I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the Forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye. You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student. Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
Noted.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic.
Is that why the guy choked?
As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment.
There we
which
go.
Prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
That's why the guy seemed to choke when he was talking and nobody even cared. Huh.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture.
Those
Please,
rings.
Take a seat.
A man of pep. With the ghetto Hogwarts.
We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology. The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into three forms. Two are of the incorporeal sort, the soul, and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third?
Wait, how we were told. Corporeal. Right?
Yes. Very good. This is the form with which the layman is most familiar. Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities, and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory. as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it.
Welcome to the... don't know what that says.
Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
It would blot out everything that was written.
Yeah.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
Oh, Cardinal.
The seventh Umbral Calamity.
Yeah.
The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act.
I think Louvois did it deliberately.
The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace.
I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty. Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea. For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And our memories drift apart and dissolve. Rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form.
Reincarnation.
Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable.
Close your mouth.
Well, I think that's enough education for today, now that I've given you some food for thought. Or rather, an entire banquet.
Why do you gotta make it funny?
I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend. Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan, and her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
That sounds like an evil laugh halfway, but it's just be him. You have been granted the run of Phenomena. If you're a game, Ki Aliapo would put your order. Not gonna be crafting anytime soon, so on with it. Alright, Crowd is still digesting a rather hefty portion of food for thought. Should I say the food from last night? Well, that's giving me much to mull over. I feel as though we're one step closer to understanding the Forum's true motives, and the mysteries of life itself, for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I've been feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way, you could better acquaint yourself with Ki Aliapo as the scholar suggested, while I share our findings with Ra. I don't even think I can. No, I can't. It's red. I'm not high enough in crafting. Alright. Welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the studio proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the warding scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our possession to Yshtola. So the time has come for us to go on an offensive? It's too early to say for certain, but it does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. Ooh. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan. But let us see what awaits us in Velbrand. Let's start by getting the scales out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Ascenian? Phew. Didn't realize these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain though. Vrta and the alchemists of the great work put their hearts and soul in each and every one of these scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the Forum's watchful gaze, I have little choice but to stay behind. We've already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were found to be concerned with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await word from Master Matoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn. I can feel it. To Yshtola. Oh, wait. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Right. You're going... Wait. As I was told to expect you, as you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seed Seer and the Sultana. 3 of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? Yeah, just put me in. My apologies for calling you away from Sharlayan at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful, and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. We know these people, you don't gotta be formal. So it's only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. But might I ask what your plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding skills and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Sharlayan, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts, with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of kobolds, Sahagin, Ixal, and Anatsa have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph at Razet Han has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace, and it is you, the Science of Sevandon, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telephori at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. These brave few will be the Isabel contingent. To think such progress has been made in so short a span. Its objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. And previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered, robbed of their free will. They serve the Telephori, everyone without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it is the right thing to do. Okay. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that, there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred and Urianger observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there is reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we failed to make any headway, though the same could be said of the Telephori. They are certainly in no rush to press further in our lands. I'd wager the spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Yshtola's analysis of the tower's influence of ethereal currents. Yeah, she said it was a man's limb in there. Why? Based on their observation inside the Tower of Zot, the spires siphon aether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for the task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it's not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to a larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that. Regardless, once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring their schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good, but what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join Isabar's contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. Glory for people of Garlemald, for revenge against the Telephori. I don't do things for... honor and glory. We ain't gonna go for vengeance. Couldn't have put it better myself. Yshtola, Urianger have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warding scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Isilbar. Ruban and Lord Emmerich are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs, and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Telfari so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go, safe in the knowledge that Yorzir will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. I already got my jacket, so I'm good.